Sullivan Tire, KFC's new Kentucky Grilled Chicken, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, Citgo, and by Toyota's official website for deals via Toyota.com. Hey, good afternoon once again, everybody. Welcome back to Fenway Park. We played day baseball in this fourth and final game of the series between the Red Sox and the Athletics. The Red Sox have taken the field, so let's check out the Oakland A's starting nine. Adam Kennedy leading it off at second base, and Orlando Cabrera at shortstop. Nomar Garciaparra, the DH, with Jack Cust in right field. It is Tommy Everidge at first base with Bobby Crosby at third base. Rajai Davis in center field bats seventh. Ryan Sweeney is in left, he bats eighth. And Landon Powell doing the catching today. First appearance of the series, he bats ninth. On the mound today for the Red Sox is John Lester, trying to get into double figures in wins as he comes in at 9-7 with a 3.79 earned run average. Opponents sitting at 254 against Lester in 20 starts in 2009. Last time out against the Orioles, a victory in a 7 1/3 effort, giving up 2 runs. Now here is Adam Kennedy to lead it off for the Athletics. And as we found out last night, Kennedy out after that first pitch, hit a home run last night against Penny right out of the gate. Tonight, or today, he takes strike one over the outside corner. Kennedy at 296 with 8 homers and 38 runs batted in. Kind of surprising to see the Oakland A's, the way they have come at the Red Sox offensively.
I think John Lester possibly did a little scouting report on him of his own last night. You can sit in the dugout and do a little bit of your scouting about how aggressive the Oakland hitters were last night. I think that might be an understatement, especially in that first inning. If it was a fastball they could reach, they were cutting at it.
This one sent foul down the left field line, and it hangs at 0-2. They racked up 5 runs in the first inning against Penny. They were not waiting around. We'll see if they are more selected today against John Lester. Kennedy, Cabrera, and Garciaparra here in the first. And the Red Sox find themselves 3.5 games back of the New York Yankees. The Yankees winning last night in Tampa Bay, wrapping up that series. The Red Sox dropping the game to the A's. The Yankees tonight are in Chicago to begin a series against the White Sox. We're on the ground right side at Pedroia for out number 1 of the first inning.
And the Red Sox defense is brought to you by TD Bank North. This afternoon, Jason Bay is in left field. Kobe Ellsbury, the center fielder, the speedster, and J.D. Drew is in right. Around the Red Sox infield, Mike Lowell at third. Nick Green at short. Dustin Pedroia with that 4-3 put out at second base. Euclid at first, and Jason Veritek handling the slants from John Gillespie.
Umpiring crew today, it is Jim Wolf behind the plate calling the balls and strikes with Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief at first, Adrian Johnson at second, and Philden Culbreth is the umpire at third. 1 out here in the top of the first inning, and Orlando Cabrera, the batter. He's at shortstop today again, as he has been in this entire series. And we've said it about every day, and it may not happen, but let's think Orlando Cabrera could be headed in a different direction in the next 24 hours or so. Certainly one of the guys that is available on the Oakland A's that some teams may view as a nice chip.
Not only defensively, but offensively. He's having himself quite a year with the 280 mark. He can steal some bases for you.
Sends it to his counterpart at short, Nick Green. Gets it there in a hurry. 2 down.
Is anybody's name exempt?
No.
Between now and 4 tomorrow afternoon?
Which is a scary thing, I would think, for a lot of players. This week has always got to be a little touch and go.
You know, it's most scary if you are on a team that is a contending team in some good spot. What you don't want to do is be one of those guys that goes from there down to a low ball club who has had some young talent that they can get rid of. That would be the scary part.
Now here is Nomar Garciaparra, who bats with 2 outs and the base is empty. And for a lot of these guys, you go from Pittsburgh where things were not going well at all, and you come to Boston like Adam LaRoche, and things are looking up.
Where do I sign? They'll walk over here to get here. Never mind the flight.
Lined and caught at second base by Pedroia. Nice 1-2-3 first for Lester. Red Sox are coming up. So check out the Red Sox starting nine. The Red Sox lineup is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury at the top of it again today with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Kevin Youkilis at first with Jason Bay in left. David Ortiz the DH. Mike Lowell at third base, bat six. J.D. Drew in right. Jason Varitek doing the catching, and Nick Green at shortstop, bats ninth. Gio Gonzalez is on the mound today for the Oakland A's. Another young starter. He's 2-2 with a 7.75 earned run average. The opponent hitting at .333 against Gonzalez in 8 games in 2009. And a look at his last start, which was very good. A victory against the Yankees as part of this road trip for the Athletics. 6 2/3, just the 1 run. See how he fares against this Red Sox offensive lineup as Jacoby Ellsbury takes strike one.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not be fooled by that 7.75 earned run average. This young man is a far better pitcher than that.
Line to third, and Crosby had to elevate, but he makes the grab for the first out of the bottom of the first.
So since Crosby makes the starting play, let's start with the infield defense. Bobby Crosby at third, Orlando Cabrera, the slick fielding shortstop. Adam Kennedy is at second with Tommy Everidge over at first. Ryan Sweeney in left field, Rajay Davis, the speedster at center, Jack Cust at center, and Landon Powell, who has been the starting catcher for Gonzalez in his last 2 starts. They feel like he works with him a little bit better than Suzuki.
One down for Dustin Pedroia. Batting out of the 2 spot at .305 with 5 homers and 44 runs batted in. Looks it down the right field line. Foul will make its way back into the seats just beyond Canvas Alley. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game. Well, the Red Sox and A's wrapping up this 4-game series, a getaway day. The A's will be headed home while the Red Sox will be headed to Baltimore after the game today. A good amount of rain make its way through Fenway Park prior to the game. Neither team able to take batting practice. But to come game time, it is a beautiful day. And on the warm side. Chance of more showers today, as you might imagine. This is grounded softly at Orlando Cabrera on the run, and just in time. 2 down in the first.
It's always exciting to watch slick fielding shortstops. And by slick fielding, I mean that they always have themselves in position, not only to feel the ball, but they always seem to be on the proper stride then to make the throw off the right foot with balance. And Cabrera does that as well as any shortstop in the major leagues. We witnessed it here for a couple of years in Boston, where he was just about flawless.
2 down. Kevin Youkilis standing in. He had a frustrating night last night, as many of the Red Sox did from an offensive standpoint. 17 homers and 59 runs batted in overall.
Strange thing how hitters can all of a sudden be really smoking hot, and all of a sudden something happens. You get a little bit out of skew with your head, or something. You don't quite see the ball as well out of a pitcher's hands, and then before you know it, you hit a little flare somewhere. It falls in, and everything turns right around again. If we could ever find anyone who could explain slumps, we could make him an instant millionaire, maybe billionaire.
There are a couple guys who make a few million to be willing to pay for it.
There would be a long line for his services.
1-2 is rolled over by Youkilis down third baseline. Crosby off balance with a good play. Some good defense by the A's in the first. We've played 1, no score from Fenway. It's on to the second inning back at Fenway, scoreless as Jack Cust leads it off. Tommy Everidge and Bobby Crosby. Works out to be 4, 5, and 6 for the Athletics here in the second. A 10 pitch, 1-2-3 first for Lester. And it's strike 1 to Jack Cust. The key matchup is brought to you by New England Honda dealers. And Cust with some tough numbers against John Lester. 7 Ks and 11 at bats. You can do that to lefties. Does it to righties too, for that matter. Misses inside.
Now, did you see time and time again and start after start, when the curveball is right for John, he changes the eye level, and where a hitter has to look at more so for the right hand than the left hand. The left hand is going to give him a little room anyway because he's left-handed.
Down to first and to Youkilis, who takes it himself for the first out of the inning.
We've mentioned a lot of the strikeouts for John Lester in his last 5 starts or so. This is a good day for him to get some ground ball outs, keep his pitch count down a little bit. This is not, it's an ideal play, ideal day to play as far as the temperature is concerned, but you get a little, let's say, whiff by the 5th or 6th inning if you're striking a lot of people out and your pitch count gets higher.
Well, Lester working very economically so far. He's got 1 out here in the second as Tommy Everidge, who made his major league debut here the other night in the first game of the series. Got his first major league and only major league hit off Jonathan Papelbon. He's 1 for 9 so far. That's this one foul.
Not afraid to be in the big leagues, is he?
No, he's been taking some hacks.
He's had a pretty good rise. He was at AA, then up to AAA, and he was throwing up numbers that said, well, he can't do any more at this level. Let's see what happens when he gets to the big league level. They had an injury, and maybe the guy will never go back to the minor leagues. Not afraid to let it go.
Forcing the hand of the major league team, as really did a great job at both levels, and they're certainly checking out some of their development system to see who's going to be here for the future, and they're in that mode right now. The mode the A's have been in a while. It seems like they just regroup every couple of years and they're there again.
And primarily do it with young pitchers who are good young pitchers.
One thing they can certainly do is develop pitching, as we have seen remarkably over the years. 97 that time from Lester. He misses for ball 3. It's a full count to Tommy Everidge. This one chopped out to Nick Green. And there's 2 down. Bob, you've been all over the last couple of weeks. First you went to Cooperstown to see Jim, and then here for Jim's celebration here the other night.
That was absolutely terrific over in Cooperstown. I'll be honest with you, Don. I was really impressed by the way the entire operation worked over there, the procedures, the way they handled the thing, and I was so proud of Jimmy the way he handled the whole thing. He was a nervous wreck. I am telling you, a nervous wreck. He was so nervous, I was nervous for him.
Well, it was hot here the other night, but he was sweating pretty profusely here at the ballpark, as you can imagine.
If you were standing next to him here the other night, you could have taken a shower with the perspiration coming off him. I think he was more nervous in Cooperstown than here. He seemed to be a bit more relaxed here in front of people that he had confidence in and had enjoyed watching him play so long. And I, like a lot of other people, believe strongly that he is equally proud, if not more proud, of the fact that his number is retired out there than he was as going into the Hall of Fame.
There's a broken bat, soft liner retrieved by Green. Another 1-2-3 inning. We're an inning and a half deep, scoreless from Fenway. By Comcast Town on Yawkey Way during your next trip to Fenway Park. Now we head to the bottom of the second inning, scoreless from Fenway Park. Jason Bay, David Ortiz, and Mike Lowell to bat here in the second inning. Well, Gio Gonzalez getting the start here today for the Athletics. 1-2-3 first inning. Tied the Red Sox on just 10 pitches in that first inning. Jason Bay, 20 homers and 74 runs batted in. Gio Gonzalez with a 2-game winning streak coming in. He won last at Cleveland and then at New York in those last 2 outings. They were both victories, both 6-inning efforts. His losses coming against the San Francisco Giants and the Detroit Tigers, and they were back-to-back at the end of June. But another young starter, 23 years of age, is the fourth youngest pitcher in the A's starting rotation. You had Cahill is 21, Anderson 21, and Vin Mazzaro is 22. This is down the line and a foul ball.
Part of that lofty earned run average of 7.75, Don, came. He had to start on the 5th of July or the 10th of July. They didn't pitch anymore for 10 days. And a guy who was a two-pitch pitcher, and that's kind of what Gonzalez is now, although he's working on a changeup. A guy who relies a lot on his curveball with 10 days off in between starts. It's hard just to go back and find that right away. So he got beat around a little bit by the Minnesota Twins and jumped that earned run average up there a bit. But he had, as you mentioned, a very impressive outing against the New York Yankees his last time out. Through 5 2/3, he was just about perfect. Struck out 6 guys during that time, and that's at a time when the Yankees were starting some pretty good offense. So this young man knows how to get it done. When he comes up with a changeup, look out.
That was on the homestand. The Yankees went 9-1. They really had it going, and continue to do so as they went into Tampa, took care of business there, and all of a sudden there's a 3.5-game lead. Top the American League East. Here's ball 4, and Jason Bay makes his way down to first base. Well, big news here at Fenway Park before the ball game that broke around noon this afternoon. Highly visible story certainly regarding David Ortiz. The New York Times reporting before today's game that Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz are among more than 100 players who tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs in 2003. And certainly this is big news across Red Sox Nation, across Major League Baseball, no doubt. David Ortiz has declined comment to this point as he drives this out to left field and off the wall. From first base comes Jason Bay. He'll be stopped about halfway down the line and barely gets back. He was well down the line when he threw the brakes on and retreated to the bag and almost got thrown out. But Ortiz with a wall ball double, and it's second and third, nobody out.
A lot of times left-hand batters do not like to take a pitch off a left-hand pitcher. Gets him in the hole. David Ortiz got a ball that's pretty much in his wheelhouse, down and out over just a little bit, and he does what he really does best. I think he's most effective, as a lot of left-hand hitters are in this park, getting it off the wall. A very, very late stop sign from DeMarlo Hell. You can see there that Jason Bay was in high gear. He gets the late stop sign and just barely gets back under the tag. Everybody's safe, and here come the Red Sox.
Very fortunate to have gotten back. And here is Mike Lowell. A great night last night. A 3-run home run in the first inning of last night's game to get the Red Sox right back in it. It was his 11th home run of the year. 63 at bats in between home runs. One is a strike over the outside corner. It's 0-2. Back to the Ortiz situation just briefly. A tough situation really for Major League Baseball and for the fans. It's just tough to figure out how they keep trickling out 1 or 2 at a time rather than the entire list. And unfortunately now it kind of taints a little bit of beginning in 2003, the great combination of Ortiz and Ramirez.
Well, we heard Nick Cafardo talk about in our pregame show the fact that these lists were supposed to have been destroyed, I suppose, right, at one time, and for whatever reason, they weren't destroyed, and now whoever was supposed to destroy them didn't. Baseball's really paying the price.
And my question is the timing of it all, and why these two guys today, and I'm sure A-Rod was asking the same question when it came out about him. And it'll be interesting to see what David has to say after the game. I imagine he'll be talking to the writers then. Certainly we'll be hearing more about this story in the near future after the game, including post-game reactions on WB Mason's Extra Innings following today's game right here on NESN. And this, of course, was a big story right away here at Fenway Park today. The 1-2 pitch is Lowell, the foul tip. It's held onto by Powell. Mike Lowell disagrees, but a strikeout, and there's one down here in the second.
It's like, that's the curveball. It's not really, I thought for a second that ball may have bounced into the mitt, but it did not. Powell got the mitt up high enough to get it up in the webbing. You talked about Gonzalez and his curveball. He doesn't have a 12-6, a lot like Buchholz. His is more like 11-7. Has just a little bit of a slant in it. However, witness there, it's a pretty good biter.
The second and third, one down. J.D. Drew stands in and takes the ball high. Drew's been hitting the last couple of days. 246, 12 homers, and 40 runs batted in. Chance here for the Red Sox to break out on top in the second inning. There's a strike, 1-1. Good series for J.D. Drew, trying to get these bats going again for the Red Sox.
That's about the top fastball you see from Gonzalez. He'll run between 90, 91, up to 93. Rarely will he get it over 93, occasionally. His problem is when he doesn't get the curveball over and he gets into fastball counts, then he becomes hittable. There are not many major league hitters. Well, as a matter of fact, I don't know of any. If they know a fastball is coming and you get them in a fastball count, they don't care how fast you throw it. If it's coming up there in a 3-1, 2-0, 2-1 count, they will put the ball in play.
We saw that with Brad Penny last night, getting behind. He's throwing 97, 98, but didn't matter. Down to first goes J.D. Drew, the second walk of the inning and of the outing, allowed by Gonzalez. And that'll bring out Kurt Young, the pitching coach. Well, the trade deadline roughly 24 hours away. Stay with NESN.com for the latest reports from around the majors. And tomorrow at 3 p.m., join Tom Caron and the rest of the team for NESN's baseball trade deadline special. They'll uncover the latest moves and keep you up to date on the complete trade picture as it develops. That's tomorrow all day on NESN.com and live at 3 right here on NESN. Red Sox with a chance here with the bases loaded and one out in the bottom of the second inning, and the captain coming up, Jason Varitek. Jason at 231 with 13 homers and 41 runs driven in. He was 0 for 3 in the ball game last night, and catching the day game after the night game.
I always felt this was a pretty good time to have an at-bat here. Your opposing pitcher just walked 2 hitters, your bases are loaded, and the pitching coach comes out to the mound. Now, what do you think the pitching coach is saying? Look, we got to get this ball in the strike zone. Well, if you're the hitter, you know what that message is about at the mound. Get ready to tee it up. Jason got a fastball, but just fouled it off.
Missing away, and it is a ball and a strike to Varitek. Insight that time, 2-1. Bases loaded opportunity, 2 walks allowed by Gonzalez in the inning. Most walks he's had in any game is 4, and that was his debut back on May 3rd against Seattle. Varitek to right field for a base hit. From third comes Bay. The Red Sox will get a run out of this base hit to right and lead it 1-0.
Well, once again, Gonzalez gets himself in a fastball count. Jason Varitek picks up his 42nd run driven in on the year. Ball is just a little up and out over. Doesn't try to do anything really fancy with it. Good solid contact, line drive. As a matter of fact, he hit it too hard and right at the right fielder. Otherwise, actually, did he break his bat?
He did. Just a little piece of the handle left in that hand.
They just don't make them like they used to.
No, they're going everywhere. So bases loaded, 1 out, a run in, and Nick Green, the batter. Green takes strike 1. And back and forth between Lowry and Green. It is. And every other day, just about. Green was a defensive replacement last night. He was 0 for 4 in the second game of the series, and 1 for 8 on the homestand. Terry Francona now shuffling shortstops as well as the first and third situation as Adam LaRoche has arrived in the scene and trying to figure out who's going to play when. He's managing more of the lineup than he has in a long time.
It's hard to keep 25, well, actually not 25. It's hard to keep 10 or 11 position players happy with playing time, and you have to hope that you have a couple of guys in that dugout and clubhouse that can accept the fact that they are sometimes backup players, and sometimes it's difficult for a player to understand that and take on that role. A player wouldn't be worth his salt if he didn't want to play, and a manager wouldn't want him in his clubhouse if he didn't want to play. But somehow you got to mix it out and figure out a way to do it so that you come up with the best possible winning combination on a daily basis.
Green goes down chasing, becomes the second out of the inning, and the second strikeout for Gonzalez.
Big Green in the hole will chase the breaking ball. That's the good spinner, good rotation. After the base is loaded, Powell doesn't have to do anything with the ball with it in the dirt. And only 1 out.
So 2 down now, bases loaded. Top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury lined out to third base, first time up.
The 2-out RBIs have been big in this series for both ball clubs in a couple of ways, more so for the Athletics than the Red Sox. I always hated 2-out base hits to drive in runs. It just seems like they're just so deflating. It's not uncommon for veterans and young pitchers alike. Once they get that second, there's kind of a, you know, and then you drop your guard just enough, and before you know it, you look up and you've given up a 2-out single. In this instance, perhaps 2 more runs, more than likely 2 more runs.
Ellsbury down 1-2. He's had a great homestand, back in that top spot in the Red Sox order, and riding a 6-game hitting streak coming into today's action. In fact, he's our SBLI A+ performer of the series. In these uncertain times, there is one thing you can count on. Your family's future is safe with SBLI of Massachusetts. SBLI, the life insurance company rated A+ by AM Best for superior financial strength. Get your free quote today. 7 for 15 in the series is Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 triples, 2 RBIs, and 2 steals. Here he bats with the bases loaded and 2 down. May have gone. He did. Fielding Culbreth from third base rings him up. Gonzalez strikes out the side. The Red Sox get a run and lead it 1-0.
Is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Get the right auto and home coverage at amicacoverage.com. Well, Jason Varitek with a chance to drive in a runner here. Down ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is right in the comfort zone for a hitter who is in a fastball count. Jason Varitek didn't miss it. It looked as if he hit that ball a lot harder than he did, but as we wound up finding out later, he had a little piece of the bat left in his hand. Job got done, though. Put the Red Sox out front first.
Top half of the 3rd inning, and it is Rajai Davis, the speedy Rajai Davis, as we have seen in this series. It's been all over the place. In center field today and batting 7th. Out ahead of that, fouling it off. It's Davis, Sweeney, and Powell. 7, 8, and 9 for the Athletics here in the 3rd inning. Rajai Davis, who we saw strictly as a pinch runner in the past for the A's, when the Red Sox had played the A's. Davis from Norwich, Connecticut, resides there during the offseason. Went to the University of Connecticut at Avery Point in Groton, Connecticut. As he lines one foul back into the seats. And graduated from New London, Connecticut high school, 1999. A big part of this series. Counted 2-2. Lester retiring the first 6 batters he's faced today on 22 pitches. And a shallow center field pop up incoming is Ellsbury diving to make the catch in center. Jacoby Ellsbury diving head first to make the grab and rob Rajai Davis.
So one speedster takes care of another speedster. Jacoby Ellsbury, of course, diseased with speed. Not only does he utilize his speed, he gets an excellent jump on this ball. He recognizes right away that the ball is hit down toward the end of the bat. He's off at the crack of the bat and just gets there in time. That'll be on a few highlight reels before the week's over.
Well, Jacoby has had a few of those in this homestand. And a nice grab there for the first out in the 3rd inning. Ryan Sweeney now stands in. Sweeney, the left fielder today, he's been all over. Center, right, and now in left.
Heard you talking last night about the ability to run a bit and play this game. I can't imagine how much fun that must be to be able to run just a little bit. Not like those guys run. I mean, just a little.
Well, he can run a lot, and it has been a great deal of fun to watch. The key for him is just getting on, because he can truly change a game.
Oh, in an instant. You walk him, it's a double or a triple. If they hit a single, it's certainly a double, because he's going to steal a base pretty soon anyway.
To left field, Jason Bay drifting over to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
When you're a big lumbering catcher and you don't run very well, every time you hit it on the infield ground, you know you're going to be making a right turn at first and headed back to the house. You've got no chance of beating any of those out.
As Terry Francona has said many times, even when Ellsbury was not at the top of the order, kind of feels like his best lineup is when Ellsbury is at the top of that order. It's just a question of him feeling comfortable in that capacity and doing well. Because he wasn't getting on for so long, Red Sox had to make some changes, but he's back to getting on again.
Well, I know this has been harped on quite a bit, and Jacoby is quite a cerebral player. And he is going to gradually get into this, where he's going to utilize his speed more by getting the ball on the ground on a more consistent basis.
This is line down the left field line, a fair ball to the corner as Powell does not run well, galloping towards second base and will get there.
Powell suffers from a bit of a hamstring pull, and talking about lumbering catchers, I mean, we saw one there. It was a double. He almost turned into a single.
It was painful to watch when I looked down. He got to first.
He takes the Lester breaking ball and hooks it right into that corner in deep left field. Jason Bay catches it on a long carom out of the corner, but the big catcher still has the 2-out, 2-base hit.
So at second with 2 away, first hit of the day for the Athletics comes from the number 9 man. And here's Adam Kennedy. Lester from the stretch for the first time today. For strike, he's been much more patient today than he was last night as the count evens at 1-1.
Possibly that has something to do with facing a left-hander as opposed to a right-hander. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking a little more protective of the breaking ball that he just got there from Lester. He figures the right-hander can't break the ball away from him, so he can be a little more aggressive. The left-hander, of course, can.
Hooks it into right for a base hit. See if they send Powell. No, they will stop him as Drew is up and throwing. And it's first and third. The A's got something going here with 2 down in the inning.
Now, Mike Gallego, the third base coach of the Oakland Athletics, had the stop sign up after this ball hit the outfield grass. Just past Kevin Youkilis at first. Quickly gets out to J.D. Drew. And the stop sign is up. That's about as red as you can get it.
So a 6-game hitting streak now for Adam Kennedy, who's done nothing but hit in this series. Nice pickup for the A's this year. Been released by the Cardinals and started at AAA for the Oakland A's, and he has been a Red Sox killer this year. First and third, 2 down. And a chance here for Orlando Cabrera. Back and underneath the glove of Lester. Pedroia's got it, and he'll win the race. Tag second to end the inning, and Lester out of a jam. Red Sox lead it 1-0.
This superb defensive play by Dustin Pedroia just over the mound. He wants to look at first to throw. He says, nope, I got time to get to the bag and make the unassisted play myself. He may have had some problems uprighting himself and maybe throwing Cabrera out. Instead, the force play is on, and the 1-0 lead stays just that.
Last half of the third inning, and Pedroia will be leading it off. Pedroia, Youkilis, and Bay take on Gio Gonzalez. Gave up a run in the second inning, but really the damage could have been a lot more. Red Sox had the bases loaded. With one out, he proceeded to strike out Nick Green and Jacoby Ellsbury. He ended up striking out the side in the second. Pedroia grounding to short in his first at bat. Red Sox going second time through now. So what kind of adjustments they can make against Gio Gonzalez.
Dustin's got a little bit of that, shaven look today.
It's unusual.
Road trip?
Yes. Usually he's kind of on the grungy side for the most part.
Well, that's the way he plays. He's the kind of player that gets dirty before they start the game. Gritty player. The last pitch to Dustin looked to be a pretty good changeup from Gonzalez, as it mentioned earlier, a pitch that he's working on. When you are a two-pitch pitcher, it's tough to be a starter. Two pitches will get a reliever through an entire career. Sometimes, in Rivera's case, with New York, you do it with one. That's highly unusual. But for a starting pitcher to get by with two pitches, it's very difficult. And Gonzalez, as we've mentioned here a couple of times, he gets himself into fastball counts. When you've got two pitches, a hitter can guess and be right 50% of the time. When you can mix in something else that keeps you off that fastball and hitters counts, that's a big plus.
Well, swing and a miss for Pedroia, who strikes out. He becomes the fourth victim for Gonzalez. Let's check in with Heidi.
Don, the Red Sox are facing their fourth straight rookie pitcher from Oakland in Gio Gonzalez. The 23-year-old has been inconsistent since getting called up, but their pitching coach, Kurt Young, told me he's learning quickly.
He's got a plus curveball is a strikeout pitch, and command of his fastballs last game against the Yankees was really good. So he's a guy we're going to get pounding the strike zone, and if he does that, I feel he's going to pitch a pretty good game today.
At the ripe age of 23, Gonzalez is actually the second oldest starter for Oakland. They've got 21-year-olds Trevor Cahill and Brett Anderson, 22-year-old Vin Mazzaro, all younger than Gonzalez. And Young told me it's unique working with such a young staff. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. I was just going to say, boy, he's really earned his money this year. He's worked with a lot of youngsters. It's a lot different working with the rookies as he has with really his entire rotation on a daily basis than regular major leaguers who have been here for a long time. And has done a good job here with these A's, and they continue to grow.
Don't forget, he was one of those young rookie pitchers for the A's years ago, so he is dealing from vast experience. Pitching coaches dealing with young guys. Dave Duncan probably would have been the guy that worked with him.
This one grounded foul over by the Athletics dugout. Well, Youkilis grounded out to third base first time up. He's 0 for 1. Jason Bay waiting on deck as the Sox bat here in the bottom of the third. Up the middle and under the glove of Orlando Cabrera. He was there but doesn't come up with it. Frustrated as Youkilis reaches it first.
Well, you don't see this often, certainly from any big league shortstop, and especially from Orlando Cabrera. If they rule this a base hit, and they very well could, that might be the hit that gets Kevin all turned around, as we were mentioning ago. Cabrera did have to go more than a couple steps to his left to get to it, but ordinarily, I think you would see him eat that up and throw out a runner. We'll see how they score it.
It is indeed a base hit for Youkilis, and the third hit of the day for the Red Sox. They walk his first time up, came around to score the game's only run. Outfield shaded for Bay to go the other way. Rajay Davis step or two towards right center. And a foul tip, 1-2.
Sometimes hitters can pick up a point or two by the way they play you defensively. If I'm a right-hand hitter and a pull hitter like Bay is, and I look up and see the center fielder a couple of stages over to the right center, I got a pretty good idea they may be trying to pitch me away. I'm not going to see any balls inside.
He strikes out. It's 5 Ks for Gonzalez already. 2 down.
Now, where can you score the coolest Red Sox gear in town? Well, check out theglobestore.com. The Boston Globe store has everything for the diehard fan, like autographed memorabilia, Red Sox photos, souvenirs, and more. Shop online, shop anytime. Shop BostonGlobeStore.com.
2 outs here in the last half of the 3rd inning. Kevin Youkilis single is at first, and here's David Ortiz, who doubled his first time up. And Poppy taking strike 1. Look back to that double.
That's the ball when he was having his really strong at bats, really hot. Those are the pitches that he used to drill on a regular basis off that left field wall. I thought the early part of the year when I'm watching him play, I thought his wrist was still bothering him a little bit. When you see a hitter being defeated by the pitch that's really his bread and butter pitch, and that is his bread and pitch, the ball that's down and out over a little bit, those are the pitches he just used to kill. I thought his wrist was hurting, but everybody you talk to, everybody that was around him says, no, it's not the wrist. That ball just around the plate inside, that can be a little bit dangerous pitch there. That's maybe a bad miss for Gonzalez. Sometimes you don't want a hitter to swing at that ball. You hope it's you hope they can call it.
This one gets away briefly from Powell. No advantage for Youkilis as he retreats to the bag at first. Yeah, it was so strange to watch David Ortiz unable to catch up to fastballs that he was crushing in the past.
Yeah, and that's the reason I thought that his hand was still bothering him, but apparently that wasn't the case. And the longer that sort of cool time goes for a hitter, the tougher it is sometimes for you to get out of it. I recall an old teammate, Louis Aparicio, went 0 for 41 with us in the early 70s. He got a base hit and got a letter from President Nixon congratulating him on getting out of the slump. So that was a nationally known slump when the president sends you a letter to get you out of it.
Ortiz grounds it foul by the Red Sox dugout. On deck is Mike Lowell. 2 outs. Youkilis at first base. Gonzalez has had the last 5 outs as strikeouts. This is that time, and it's a full count to Ortiz.
Gonzalez is just about forced to come with a fastball here. You got a right-handed hitting Lowell on deck. You don't want to lose him.
He does at 95, and Ortiz fouls it off.
There's a lot more to hitting sometimes than just looking at pitches. Batters can think, well, I got Lowell behind me. I'm 3-2. I got a left-hander on the mound. He doesn't want to lose me to get to Lowell, especially playing in this ballpark and the series that Mike has had so far.
And let's get on the same page here with Gonzalez as Powell calls time.
This is a good time for a catcher too. When you are in this situation, sometimes 2-2, oftentimes 3-2, depending on the hitter and how well that particular hitter is going. You might just look out and have your pitcher shake off a couple times. We haven't even seen a sign yet, but I'm going to have him shake off a couple times. All that does is put just a little bit of a doubt in the hitter's mind. Ooh, am I going to get the fastball? Maybe I'm not. That's all it needs to give the pitcher advantage.
Ortiz grounding right side. Everidge at first. He'll take it himself, and Gonzalez out of trouble in the 3rd. It's 1-0 Boston at the end of 3. 1-0 Red Sox on top as we head to the 4th inning. Nomar Garciaparra leading it off and fouling it off. And you look at Nomar's career, and it's hard to imagine that he's been to these other places and his career has gone in the direction that it has since he left Boston. Just the way he was here and a superstar here in Boston.
Well, he was a .337 lifetime hitter at Fenway Park, and this park was absolutely perfect design for him. A lot of line drives. It cost him home runs occasionally in this ballpark, but he had kind of the perfect body to play baseball with. He had a great deal of enthusiasm for the game. Very aggressive as a hitter. I'm surprised that more and more pitchers over his career, and maybe they did change later on, they kept throwing him first pitch fastball. He just kept hitting singles and doubles over and over and over again. A lot of aches and pains, though, for Nomar after he left Boston. A lot of leg injuries, and hitters like pitchers really rely on their legs a lot more than you think. And when those leg injuries are in there, however nagging, big or little they are, there's something that just takes away from your ability.
So it'll find its way into the first row of seats as Veritek gave chase.
It makes you make adjustments as a hitter when you don't have the proper foundation, the balance, and when your legs are not there. So you change. You have to swing with a little more upper body, a little more arms. And when that happens, then you lose a consistency of bat speed. It was nothing for him to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Nothing. He had a very live bat, good bat speed, and consequently the ball jumped off his bat. As a catcher, it would hurt your ears when he hit the ball solidly.
We give a lot of credit to his hitting coach, Jim Rice.
Absolutely. I'm not so sure that they're not still in contact occasionally. I know I hear Jimmy talk about him a lot, and I'm sure that they're not too far removed from each other.
Little roller down the third baseline. Lester Spriley grabs it. The throw is not going to be in time. So Garciaparra beating it out. And it's the third Athletics hit of the day. He's had so many leg problems. You see him run that out. He's getting down there pretty good.
He could not have caught this ball with his hand and thrown it out and in a better position. The curveball from Lester is right off the end of the bat and perfectly positioned there. Lester did a pretty good job of getting off to the mound to that side, but Omar beats out the infield single.
So lead runner on for the Athletics for the first time today. Here's Jack Cust, who grounded out to first base in the second inning.
Now, Don, we're into the fourth inning in here. How many games have you had, or how many starts have you had for John Lester recently when you go to the fourth inning and there wasn't a K on your scorecard?
I can't think of any, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that's been in double figures in strikeouts 4 times already. This is in there for strike one, 1-1.
Part of that could be due to the fact that these Oakland hitters are so aggressive.
League leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. As far as strikeouts per 9 innings, he's second only to Verlander of the Tigers. Beckett's in the top 5 too. Yeah, John Lester, 12 strikeouts is a season high, an 11 strikeout game. Twice he's had games in which he has struck out 9, and twice he has struck out 8. Today, none, as we work here into the fourth inning. This one tap foul, and it's 2-2 to Jack Cust.
There's certainly nothing wrong with not having a strikeout at this point. Might be something he can save up a little bit later. You get to a different point in the ball game where it's really kind of necessary to keep the ball out of play. He may have that little extra to go back, a little reserve to get it, a little harder breaking ball, a little snappier breaking ball, or just a little firmer fastball. Nothing in the book that says because you struck out a lot of people, you have to do it all the time. As I mentioned earlier, this is a good day to save some pitches.
There's a strikeout. He gets Cust on cue. The first strikeout of the day for John Lester. 1 down.
right on that outside corner. Kind of a flat breaking ball, almost looks like a slider. No matter what the pitch was, kind of a timely strikeout for John anyway.
He'll get the guy that he normally gets in Jack Cust. For Cust, that's the 8th strikeout, 13 at bats against John Lester in his career. And it's good for out number 1 of the 4th inning. Here is Tommy Everidge. Everidge grounding out to shortstop, first time up. Each ball has come out on the field down the left field line, so Jason Bay will take care of that.
They're trying to get him to throw it back in there. Well, you're not seeing throwing it back in there. He'll be back out there in about 2 minutes, maybe 2 pitches. No chance. A for effort, though.
So 1 down. Garcia Parra at first base. Everidge with a count of 1-0. Who's the best pitcher you worked with as a catcher?
Pitcher or stuff?
Stuff.
Best stuff?
Best
Sonny
stuff.
Siebert, without a question.
Okay.
Without question, the best stuff. Louis Tiant, the best pitcher.
Okay.
Sonny Siebert never went to that mound without very, very good stuff. He always had a good curveball, had a good slider, which is unusual. Usually, if a guy has both those pitches, one or the other is good on any given day, but usually not both. He had a very good changeup and a fastball that he threw about 92 or 93, I would guess by today's standards, and he could throw it through the eye of a needle. Very good control. Many years ago, I think it was 1972, big public relations day here at Fenway Park. Vida Blue was 9-0 and Sonny was 9-1, or it was the other way around. I don't know which. It was on a Friday night game here at Fenway. Red Sox win that game 2-1.
Green will flip to second for 1. It's on the first, double play. It ends things here in the 4th. We played 3.5. It's 1-0 Boston. Provides fans with an entirely worry-free trip to Fenway. A Brewster Coach Stretch Limousine will pick you and 10 of your VIP guests up and bring them to the ballpark, where they'll enjoy a game from the new right field box seats. After the game, the limo will bring you to the destination of your choosing. No driving worries, just great seats and top-of-the-line chauffeur service. A limited number of spots remain, so book your Red Sox limo package by visiting redsox.com/limo.
I was late today, and I talked to somebody about that.
You need the limo. You can go to the destination of your choice after the game, too. You don't have to go home.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's Mike Lowell, J.D. Drew, and Jason Varitek. You were talking about the best pitcher you'd seen in Louis Tiant, and boy, we see Louis around quite a bit, which is great here around the ballpark, but I think people forget how good a pitcher Louis Tiant really was.
As a catcher calling a game for him, you really couldn't call a bad pitch. There weren't good pitches and bad pitches for him.
Left side, Cabrera rounds behind it, plants and throws in time.
He had such good control. He was hard to catch in that I knew what pitch was coming, but I didn't know where. I'm like a hitter. I didn't know where he was going to throw it from. It may be up top with a curveball or a fastball. It may be down to the side. He even had to, once in a while, he would get a little submarine on you. So you had to be a little careful about where he was going to throw it from, because the ball had different movement on it. Once in a while, a fastball from down the side might tail a little bit more, and the curveball would sweep a little bit more. But he was a lot of fun to catch, because you could catch him with a great deal of comfort, knowing that you couldn't really make a mistake on a call for him. And he was a funny guy. I recall an instance here, and I don't mean to get in a lot of storytelling, but he's facing Kansas City one afternoon here when Harmon Killebrew was ending his career with the Royals. And Harmon had fouled off about, I'm going to say 3 or 4 3-2 pitches. And all of a sudden, Louis from the mound, hey, Killer, fastball. And he threw him a fastball. And Harmon hit it about 9 miles straight up into the middle of the infield.
Wow.
But he was apt to do that. He got tired of throwing all those 3-2 pitches. Said, here, see what you can do with it.
J.D. Drew hitting the ball well. Is on for the second time. A 1-out single here.
I can tell you something about Louis. I first saw him in 1964 in the Pacific Coast League. He and Sam McDowell were pitching at Portland. McDowell pitched against our team, the Seattle Rainiers, which was the Red Sox AAA affiliate at that time. McDowell pitched on Monday night, struck out 15 guys. The next night, Louis pitched and struck out 16 guys. And I'm sitting in the bullpen watching this, thank goodness, and I'm saying, if this is what they do at this level, I got no chance of ever playing in the big leagues. None.
Well, one down, J.D. Drew at first. Jason Varitek, the batter. He drives it to deep left. Back goes Sweeney, and he's there to make the catch shy of the track. As Drew returns to the bag at first, 2 down. We've had a lot of different guests during the course of the year. Dennis Eckersley was here last night. You were here when Eck arrived on the scene.
Yeah, I used to love to catch him. Eck was another guy that was a starter who had 2 pitches, really, and he came up with a changeup. He had a very good changeup, and he used it a lot. I like to use his changeup a lot to keep the left-hand hitters away from pulling his sinker into the hole into right field. He had a very good live arm, good live fastball, good movement, and a kind of a slurvy. So he didn't really have a pure slider, but a very good slider. And he was a pretty good competitor. You give him the ball. And one thing I always loved about Eckersley, and he finished his career in the same fashion, he just did not walk batters. He was not afraid of contact. Here it is. Here, I know where the strike zone is, and I know where this ball's going. And he had the ability to work both sides of the plate with his fastball and his slider. And then when he came up with a good changeup, that really added a lot to help him get left-hand hitters out.
In the dirt, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Nick Green. Drew at first and 2 down. And 73 pitches for Gonzalez with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Red Sox driving that pitch count up for him. He does have 5 strikeouts as he works here with 2 outs in the 4th.
There was one other thing about Louis I thought was really a valuable part of his being on a ball club. He was so loose and funny all the time. Even if you lost 5-1 or 10-2.
Swing and a miss. Green strikes out. It's 6 Ks for Gonzalez and a 1-0 Red Sox lead. how stressful the trade deadline is for both buyers and sellers. And get more Nomar with video of Heidi's exclusive chat with him. Read these stories and more today on NESN.com. So on to the fifth inning for John Lester. And a tight one from Fenway. Red Sox on top 1-0. Bobby Crosby leads it off. The third baseman for the A's has kind of been a man without a position this year with the arrival of Orlando Cabrera. Crosby was the everyday shortstop for the last few years for the A's. He has been moved around ever since. Third base, first base. But didn't have a lot of playing time over the first couple of months. Orlando Cabrera coming in after spending a year last year with the Chicago White Sox and of course going to the postseason with the White Sox, but another year, another team, and maybe there'll be another in the next 24 hours or so for Orlando Cabrera. Certainly been well traveled.
It's fortunate in my career. My name when I was one of those guys, bench me or trade me kind of guys. I didn't want to get overexposed anywhere. I can't imagine what it would be like in the middle of a summertime to all of a sudden say, hey, well, look, we appreciate what you did for us. Pack your stuff. You're going to Timbuktu or who knows where, halfway across the country. I just don't know.
This one was popped up back at first. Youkilis having to go further than he thought, and now Drew takes over. Youkilis kind of camped underneath it for a moment, then panicked and moved back. But fortunately, Drew is back there to make the catch for the first out in foul ground.
A very long run for J.D. Drew, but stayed in high gear all the way. This is a very difficult play for a first baseman to get because his body gets twisted around and running. The second baseman has a better angle. The best angle of all. J.D. Drew hauls it in for the out.
So one down here in the fifth inning. Rajay Davis coming up. Yeah, the players have talked about it quite a bit. I mean, this is kind of a nerve-wracking week if you are a guy that could be moved, has even been mentioned in any kind of possibility, and by now virtually everybody has been. Nice kick in the backhand for Lowell, and there's two quick outs here in the fifth. But all of a sudden here you are at the trade deadline, maybe moving your family and all your stuff and headed out maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
Who knows? And that team that traded for you, they don't want you there in 2 or 3 days so you can get all your family and your belongings together and find a place to live and rent a hotel. They want you there like now. Come on, let's go. We didn't trade you. We didn't trade you for take a 2 or 3 day vacation to get your belongings and a setup all done. Your name is on the lineup card tomorrow. Be here.
And then strike one to Ryan Sweeney. Flight out to left field, first time up.
I always thought playing every day was overrated anyway. Get too tired.
Especially as a catcher. I mean, that's just to the left field. Jason Bay on the run. Won't get there. Drops and then gets by him briefly. Heading for second base is Sweeney. And he will get there. That one dropped. Bay ended up kind of overrunning it as it changed direction on him once it hit the grass. It is a double for Ryan Sweeney with 2 outs.
Off the bat, it's kind of a cue shot. It's not hit very hard, and then when it hits the ground, it has a tremendous amount of spin on it. Kind of like a pitching wedge into a golf green. Jason Bay was going one way. That ball hits the ground and goes exactly the opposite.
So 2 down. Sweeney at second base, and Landon Powell, who doubled his first time up, the catcher, the first appearance of the series. You know, he's not used to catching very much at all. Kurt Suzuki leads All-American League catchers last year, this year, and every year since he's been with the A's. He's in there just about every day, but has today off. And as Bob mentioned earlier, Powell has been doing a very good job in catching Gio Gonzalez. So he's in there today to do just that. One tap foul, 0-2.
Kind of hard to get a good read on a batter and what you need to do with him when he doesn't play very much. Your advanced scouts probably don't have a chance to see him take or have many at bats, and you don't really have an idea where is his soft spot, which is a spot now where I need to go to if he's got one to get him out to save the run. Looks like they think he has a lot of problems with the breaking ball. That's what he has seen mostly here, if not all of the pitches.
No, we would explain why the only hit Lester had given up first time through was to Landon Powell. He retired the first 8, was cruising right along, and Powell was able to double off him.
Sometimes you just have to experiment a little bit when you don't know a guy's traits. The pitch he hit down in the corner, though, was an off-speed pitch. He kind of committed to it and waited just enough with his hands back to make contact with it, which leads me to believe that probably he had a little more trouble with some kind of a fastball that's got a little velocity to it that would be out over and maybe down.
Two and two to Powell.
Could be a bad time here, of course, for John's second strikeout of the game.
Top of the order on deck, and Adam Kennedy with 2 outs here in the 5th. Missed by a lot. Full count. Sun back out again, in and out of the clouds today, shining brightly right now. With 2 outs, Sweeney in scoring position at second base, and just a 1-0 Red Sox lead. Strike 3 call. He gets Landon Powell. There is the second strikeout for Lester. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead. Now for the Coors Light freeze can. And the catch by Jacoby Ellsbury in center field to rob Rajay Davis of a base hit. We've seen this many times before, but the hit first dive. Coors Light freeze can is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
See it every day in the big leagues.
It's pretty good. He's definitely a good one out there in center field for the Red Sox. As great look from behind the monster here at Fenway Park, looking out, and it was a beautiful day here at Fenway. The Red Sox and Oakland A's into the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the top of the Red Sox order: Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Youkilis. Right inside the monster.
And it is not air conditioned in there, ladies and gentlemen. If you like heat, that's where you need to go.
Also, an occasional rodent may make its way with it.
No.
Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off. He was lined out and struck out. Drag bunt bid, and it'll kick foul.
I like this on Jacoby's part. I really think he would not be hurt if he tried this once a game to get on with the bunt base hit. I believe he has, what, 4 on the year? If nothing else, if he shows that to an infield, everybody has to shorten up just a little bit. That gives him a little more room now, or a few more holes to hit that ball through on the infield, especially anything that's hit between short and third. And if you make a shortstop go a step and a half, 2 steps to his right, they cannot throw him out.
He's outside for ball 2, 2-1 to Ellsbury. 78 pitches for Gio Gonzalez as he deals with the first batter here of the 5th. Framed by Powell, but it's ball 3. Ball 4, and Ellsbury is aboard to begin the bottom of the 5th.
Now, Covidien is a global healthcare products company. They're a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities.
Lead runner on for the Red Sox for the 2nd time today. First time was Jason Bay with a walk in the 2nd. He would score. See what happens here for Jacoby Ellsbury, who walks to begin the bottom of the 5th. As Dustin Pedroia gets his 3rd look at Gio Gonzalez. A ground out and a strikeout for Pedroia in his first 2 at bats. And Kurt Young making his way out. He's been out a couple times to talk to Gonzalez.
This conference may be because of Ellsbury at first. It almost looked like Gonzalez, with that delivery, got caught about whether he wanted to use a slide step or not. Now, obviously, I haven't seen the guy pitch enough to know whether he even uses it, but he seemed to have a little bit of a jerk in his motion once he came out of the glove. Does he use a slide step? I don't like pitchers to use slide step if it takes away from their normal delivery and how they're going to get the ball to the plate. I think anytime you ask them to do something that doesn't come fairly easy for them or speed up their delivery, I think you're taking away from their effect to the hitter. The base runner doesn't bother you, but the hitter kills you.
No one's in there for a strike in the count, 1-1. We're talking to Jim Cott about that very thing. He had been with us up in Toronto right after the All-Star break. He was saying that a lot of guys slide step incorrectly and that not many can do it well.
Well, first of all, it takes velocity away from your fastball. If you're not, there he goes.
Well, they got Ellsbury picked off. If they can convert, and they can, as Cabrera slaps on the tag. He guessed and guessed wrong, as it turned out.
Jacoby going on the first move that he saw. Gonzalez, first move was over toward the area where Ellsbury was. Leverage on quickly with his throw to Cabrera, who puts the tag on Ellsbury. What did Cott have to, what did he think about doing the incorrect step?
He thought that there were so many guys that are unable to do it correctly that it's probably a bad move all the way around. This one is out towards center field as Davis makes the running grab for the 2nd out. And there's 2 down. It's time now for the Aflac trivia question, brought to you by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Who's the last major league player to bat without a helmet? I know the answer to this. We'll have the answer for you a little bit later. And I have a question about it. Let me get to that point. Well, we'll wait till later. There's 2 down as Euclid stands in and takes strike 1. Rounded out to third base in the first, single in the third.
All the times I've seen Kevin hit, even up through his minor league rise to the big leagues, I had never asked him about his unusual batting stance. He's got a lot of real estate left in that batter's box. Would you agree with me? I mean, you can move a family of 2 or 3 in there with the part that he doesn't use. But the hand where it goes up the bat and then kind of relaxes and goes back down. I asked him today, because that's the first time I could remember to ask him, did someone have him do that for any reason? He says, no, it was just something that I started. It made me kind of relax my hands and get them back in a light bat grip position rather than standing being all tense all the time. So it makes sense, and obviously he's proven that it pretty well works. It certainly works for him. Used to hate hitters that would stand this deep in the box. He is right on the back line. When he stood that deep as a catcher, I had to sit deeper, and that cost my pitcher some low strikes, perhaps sometimes, or certainly with balls that are in the dirt. Instead of being able to just put the mitt up a little bit and catch the ball in the air, now the ball's bouncing at me because I'm the catcher sitting so deep, and I hated that. But I can't control where they stand in the box.
Euclid shoots it foul back into the seats and hangs it 1-2.
And look, well, we can't see the lines there, but you could have a picnic in there.
Euclid with a swing and a miss, strikes out. It wraps up. But 5th inning, we play 5. It's 1-0 Red Sox. Question. It's brought to you by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Who's the last Major League player to bat without a helmet? My partner Bob Montgomery back in 1979. They were made mandatory in 71, but were grandfathered in 1983. It was made mandatory that players wore at least one ear flap. I have to ask you, as what seems to be a very reasonable, sane man, why is this one is off ground to Pedroia at second base for the first out of the innings. Adam Kennedy is retired. I mean, why would you do this? Why did you hang in there?
I had always worn that type of helmet, even playing youth baseball, and I just never changed. I had an option to do it when I came. I wore it all through the minor leagues, of course, and when I got to the big leagues, they allowed me to do that. When they changed the rule, they originally changed the rule that you had to wear a hard hat that was on the outside. My helmet actually was inside my hat. It was made out of a fiber and had a foam brace around it that went right around this part of the hat. It was open in the front, open in the top. So what they don't tell you is that I was the first catcher to ever catch with a helmet.
Okay.
Because my batting helmet was the same hat that I wore all the time. I got hit a couple of times, but it never seemed to affect me right away.
It's had some impact later in life,
well,
though.
Later on, yeah. I just could not stand those heavy hands. They were hot.
Wow, those are some great shots.
Black hair, flat belly in those days.
How about that? You worked in a tandem with Carlton Fisk a lot. How much did you
made a Hall of Famer out of him? Yes, sir. I tell you, Carlton was a great. It was a great thing that he came along. I was going to be in the big leagues about 2 or 3 years as an everyday player, if that. He came along and made it possible to stay here 10. So, quite pleased with Pudge. Had a nice visit with him on Tuesday night too. Don't get to see Pudge very often. He doesn't spend much time around the New England area. He's over in Chicago in the summer and down in Florida in the wintertime. But it was really something to watch him play.
Here's ball 4 and down to first base goes Orlando Cabrera with 1 out here in the 6th inning. It's just the first free pass given up by John Lester today. I see Lester pitching well here today, but he's only got 1 run to work with.
Hey, there's your run. Hold him right there, buddy.
That's the way it's been lately, it seems. And then with 1 out and 1 on, the number 3 hitter Nomar Garciaparra is 1 for 2. Reached on an infield hit last time up. And Carlton Fisk in the house today at Fenway Park in the Legend Suite here at Fenway. Was here for Jim Rice's number retirement here the other night. Hard to imagine, I think, for Red Sox fans that he would spend more time in a Chicago White Sox uniform in the end than he did a Red Sox uniform.
Yeah, what he was able to do and catch as many games as he caught, and as late in his age as he was still catching and catching beautifully. A terrific thrower, very good on blocking balls. We talked about this the other night during our visit. He was a player that someone got to early in his career and really impressed upon him how important it was to stretch out and stay stretched out all the time. We were talking about players as John Farrell comes out to visit Mr. Lester here. We were talking about players today who don't seem to stretch out quite as much, and there's a lot more injuries for whatever reason. I don't know. But Pudge was able to. I used to watch him in the outfield. He would go out well before batting practice and stretch, do all the upper body stretching, the legs, stretching the groins out. So someone got to him and made him understand how important it was for him to do that. And as a catcher, many years of getting up and down and up and down and up and down, that's a lot of wear and tear on knees and hips and feet. So he was able to do it and did it in fine fashion right to the very end. Even when he left here as a hitter, Red Sox pitchers could almost never get him out. He'd love to come back here and drill that wall over there 2 or 3 times a night.
Let's do with a check at first and back is Cabrera. We were talking about Louis Tiant earlier. It seemed like they had a pretty good relationship. And if you're talking about how loose Louis was, Louis would talk about how you get on Carlton from time to time. They'd go back and forth.
There was never a bus ride or a plane ride that you didn't get off with your sides hurting with laughter. One of Louis' favorite targets was Yaz.
Really?
Oh, we'd go by an old junkyard somewhere. And this is when Yaz had the car dealership. We'd go by a junkyard on the way from an airport to a hotel. Right out of Louis, make another Yaz Ford.
Omar, the green light, 3-0, fouls it off to the right.
Between Yaz and Tommy Harper. Tommy Harper's a very funny man. And that was another Louis Tiant target. It was side-splitting.
Swing and a miss, elevates that time. Nomar chases, full count. It's not been a huge strikeout day for John Lester through 5 1/3, 2 Ks, but he's only given up 4 hits and so far no runs. Fouled off again. That time Cabrera was off at first on the 3-2.
Nomar does not have a lot of at-bats this year with his 2 at-bats here today, just 101 at-bats. He struck out just 16 times, so they're pretty confident, and especially with a left-hander on the mound, that he's probably not going to swing and miss. They can start Cabrera, perhaps keep them out of the double play. Goes the line drive, and you run right into one. But I'll take my chances over the grounder, or the grounder over the line drive.
Lines this into right field, and it's in for a base hit. Cabrera headed for third base as J.D. Drew gets it back in quickly. And then all of a sudden here with one down, the Athletics with runners at first and third.
This is what experienced hitters do. In a 3-2 count, they don't think about one part of the ballpark. They get a little bit defensive, and Nomar here really just waits as long as he can possibly wait before he commits on the ball. Once it's where he thinks he can handle it, he just kind of shoves it off. He didn't really swing at that ball, just kind of pushes it off of him into right field. And regardless of whether Cabrera is going or not, he moves around to third easily.
So they're at the corners with one down for Jack Cust, who was 0 for 2 today against John Lester. Grounded out in the second inning, struck out swinging in the fourth. Look at the line on Lester, is now up to 80 pitches with one out here in the sixth inning.
Now that's one of those times I referred to earlier that you need to keep the ball out of play if possible, unless you're sure you can get the ground ball for the double play.
Lendo Cabrera with a walk now at third base. Nomar Garciaparra across the diamond at first, single. So it's first and third, one down. Swing and a miss. Cust does a lot of that, strikes out a lot, walks a lot, but also a guy who's got some pop. He led the A's with 33 home runs last year. He has 16 home runs this year. It's already in the cut, and it's 1-2. Cust now, Everidge next. One out, first and third for the A's. They have stranded 3 base runners through the first 5. Second time they've had a base runner at third base in the game. Two and two. Lester coming into today's action with a record of 9-7 individually, 3.79 earned run average, his 21st start. He's at 2-2. Remarkable to look at the numbers as we did off the top today of the first 10 starts of the year for Lester, in which he went 3-5 with a 6.07 ERA, and the last 10 starts where he's turned the corner very similarly to the way he did last year. He's 6-2 with a 1.83 in his last 10. Last year, of course, the no-hitter for John Lester. That seemed to be the thing that got him turned around, and from that point on ended up going 14-4 the rest of the year. Ball 3. Didn't miss by much. Lester wanted it.
The Amica pitch zone might be helpful here, and it looked like this ball had, well, according to the zone, it was just a bit inside. It looked awfully good with the naked eye. Some of our fans who may be wondering, there are 3 different camera locations in Fenway Park that help us come up with the Amica strike zone. Is it accurate? We are told it is 100% accurate. So that was a ball inside, Don. The count's full.
We'll go with it. The fine people of Amica say so. We're going with it.
Yes, sir.
The 3-2 is ball 4, and Cuss works a walk that loads the bases. And Lester, in frustration, snaps that return throw back into the glove.
Nick Green perhaps into the mound for a wise thing here. Noticed a little bit of the frustration on Lester's part. Come in, just kind of back him down just a little bit. Take a deep breath. Go back and get back to the concentration that you need to do here. Now to get yourself out of this bases loaded, 1 out jam.
Well, Lester has not been walking a lot of people. Has walked 2 in this 6th inning after not walking anybody in the first 5. And it's strike 1 to Everidge as he goes back to the strike zone again. Orlando Cabrera at third base. Nomar Garciaparra at second base. Jack Cust at first base with 1 out. Fly ball down the right field line, could be trouble. Drew on the run, almost overran it. Made the catch, turns and fires back in. Is tagging and scoring the game tying run is Orlando Cabrera on a sacrifice fly to right field. Garciaparra at second also tagged up, so he moves to third, and that ball almost got away from J.D. Drew.
Usually with the ball slicing off a right-hander's bat, it continues to work toward foul territory. However, this time this ball seemed to be hooking back a bit. J.D. Drew, under a full head of steam, will get there. Now he's 1 step too far, but reaches back, is able to grab it, gets it back in quickly, but no way to prevent Cabrera from tagging up and scoring from third. And now Everidge, in his major league debut in this series, has his 2nd RBI.
It's a 2 down, 1st and 3rd, and Bobby Crosby is lined out short, fouled out to the right fielder Drew, and pops it up foul back onto the screen. So Lester giving up his first run of his outing here in the 6th inning. Normally not a big deal, but the Red Sox are not scoring runs today against Gio Gonzalez, and it's a tie game. Hop up. Lowell coming full bore into foul ground. Lowell can't get there.
This pop up just into dead no man's land. Place where neither Veritek nor Lowell could get to it. Of course, with 2 outs and a right-hander up there, Lowell's back at a deeper position at third base. And maybe a left-hand hitter's there perhaps, or a different count situation. A little more of a head start, but from his position, no chance to get to that one, even though he went into the slide. You're just thinking a lot of these Oakland hitters would love to play in this ballpark on a hit in this ballpark on a regular basis. They pop up a ball like that in Oakland. I mean, that's wide open territory over there.
Yeah.
You could almost position a player there if they'd allow you to play in foul territory.
Great player to be great place to be a pitcher. Not so great to be a player. This one is back up the middle and into left center, a base hit. As Garciaparra from third scores. The throw comes back in, but it's an RBI double for Bobby Crosby with 2 outs that puts the A's on top 2-1.
Bobby Crosby, as you mentioned earlier, has not been getting a lot of playing time, but he certainly doesn't look like it in this at bat. Got a pitch that he could really work on, and he stings this ball right by Nick Green. And it's headed right up the seam into left center field. And before Ellsbury can get over to cut it off, the A's have scored a run and have him set at second and third.
Rajay Davis is 0 for 2. He's flied out to center and grounded out to third base. Here's action in the Red Sox pen for the first time today. Is Lester running into some trouble here in the 6th inning. A couple walks have been costly in this inning. It's Davis defensively with a swing and a miss, 1-1. It's Manny Del Carmen who's up in the pen. One fouled off, and it's 1-2. Cust at third, Crosby at second, 2 down in the 6th. 2 runs in for the A's. The Oakland Athletics 17 games back in the American League West. They have come in and brought the bats with them in this series. And 21 hits here the other night for Bob Guerin on the victory last night after a fast start, scoring 5 times in the first inning. And grab a lead here in the 6th today. The Angels now get a pad. They're over the Rangers 3.5 games ahead. These have been hitting well in the month of July, right around 300 at 297 as a team, and of course hit well against the Yankees but couldn't win that series. There's ball 3, full count. The series Adam Kennedy has had. Three and 2 the count to Rajai Davis. That's a foul. Will do it again. Lester trying to keep this damage to a minimum here in the inning. Lester was at 67 pitches coming into this 6th inning, about to throw his 100th of his outing. So this has been a taxing inning in more ways than one. Davis blips it to shallow center. It's fallen fast and in for a hit. It will score Cust and Crosby, and it's a 4-1 Athletics lead as they put a 4 spot on the board against John Lester in the top half of the 6th inning.
More 2-out runs for the Oakland Athletics. They have just used that to their advantage just about this entire series. Rajai Davis down on the brand of the bat. Certainly didn't hit this ball hard at all, just well placed. A little looping fly ball into shallow right center. Cust and Crosby around to score.
Well, for Lester, for the first time since May the 26th at Minnesota, he has given up 3 or more runs in an outing. It's been a long time. But he gives up 4 here in the 6th inning, and it's not over yet. Trying to keep Rajai Davis at first, which may be easier said than done. Sweeney's fly to left and double, 1 for 2. Davis started, then stopped, and has to scamper back to the bag as Varitek gives him a look.
Davis was going for second, but on his second step, or his second step and a half, he slips right there, lost his balance, and he says, you better come on back over here because I'm out if I go the other way.
There's a strike, and it's 2-1 to Sweeney. 8th batter of the inning to face John Lester. Lester walking 2 in this inning, both turning into runs. He's also given up 3 hits. Low throw and a spectacular play over there by Euclid as that one was in the dirt. He went lunging off the bag to retrieve it. Otherwise, that's trouble. Davis probably be at third base with his kind of speed.
The only way he wouldn't have been at third had this ball gone in the dugout had Kevin not be able to flag it down. John has a better move than that. I don't know if he's trying to set Mr. Davis up here just a little bit or not. All of a sudden now you may see that bigger move. John has 6 pickoffs on the course of the year, so you know he has a better move than he's displayed those last 2.
There goes Davis. The pitch is not close, and the throw down is not in time. Davis able to steal second base. Tried to keep him close, couldn't do it. And into scoring position with 2 outs.
15 stolen bases for the year now for Rajai Davis. We mentioned before he can flat pick him up and put him down. From a Pittsburgh Pirate, New York Giant. Give him a chance to get on base and run a little bit. He will use his speed.
Sweeney's ahead 3-1. As he takes ball 4, and there is the 3rd walk of the inning allowed by Lester. And this will bring out Terry Francona. So Manny Del Carmen warming in the pen. Well, earlier this season we saw that 1 inning was a problem for John Lester in many of his tough outings, and it is this 6th inning after 5 shutout that is the problem here today. The A's have a 4-1 lead. The pitching change from Fenway Park. Four-1 lead. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT Rapid Rewind. Jason Varitek as part of the Red Sox early lead. Red Sox going on top 1-0 on Varitek's 42nd RBI. He singled to right, scored Jason Bay, and that lead held up until this top of the 6th inning. A fly ball to right field for Everidge, a sac fly that is able to score Orlando Cabrera to tie the game, and then a lead after Bobby Crosby with his base hit into left center field is able to plate Omar Garcia-Parra. They would score 2 more runs and lead it 4-1. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. John Lester done after 5 2/3 innings. Ends up giving up 4 runs so far. He's responsible for the 2 men on. His call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. And the new pitcher is Manny Del Carmen into the game for Boston. Here's in his 42nd game of the year, 2-2 record. .257 opponent batting average against Manny Del Carmen. Bluff off the backside, sending Rajai Davis back to second. The A's, whenever possible in this series, have been taking that third base bag on steals quite a bit. And Davis certainly fully capable of doing that with his kind of speed. Landon Powell, the batter. Now on the other side for Gio Gonzalez, who has pitched well, giving up just the 1 run through 5. He's got some run support. Yes, his offense has collected 4 runs here in the 6th. Powell is the 9th member of the Athletics to bat here in the 6th inning. Kennedy, who was on deck, grounded out to start this inning. But it was the walk of Orlando Cabrera that got it all started here for Oakland. Carmen has been unable to throw a strike since coming in.
We mentioned earlier, Powell, obviously a switch hitter. You may not have a particularly strong scouting report in. You may be trying to go to a spot that you're really not quite sure of. However, the base runner is not in order here.
And they have one. A walk against Del Carmen. It's the 4th walk given up by Red Sox pitching in the inning. And the bases are now filled with Athletics. Adam Kennedy, who grounded out to begin this inning, his 2nd at bat here of the 6th. There's ball 1. Del Carmen has not yet thrown a strike. He got his 2nd loss of the season on Tuesday. His 1st loss since May the 15th at Los Angeles, and just his 2nd loss since July of last year. He's given up runs in only 2 of his last 15 games. Swing and a miss, and there's a strike. 1-1.
Part of a bullpen that, other than just the last game or two, have really been outstanding. The Red Sox had a most enviable position to be in. With their bullpen and the way they've been operating, you had roughly 6 innings to score against them. 7 on the outside. You didn't get your scoring done by then, boys. Pack the bats up. We're going home.
This one grounded under the glove of Del Carmen. Pedroia will put the tag on. It ends the inning finally as the A's score 4 times to take a 4-1 lead.
3 being outscored by 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. I invite you to go to Nesson.com to print a coupon for 20% off your entire purchase, valid at all Olympia Sports locations from July 29th through August 4th. That's Olympia Sports. Get it for less.
Bob Guerin coming out in between innings to talk to the home plate umpire, Jim Wolf. I'm not sure what that is about. It seems to be a relatively calm conversation, a discussion. A 32-minute wait for Gio Gonzalez, as his team now has a 4-1 advantage. Bob Guerin does have action in the pen.
He was pointing toward the outfield. I was looking to see if I think he still has the same players. Cust is still in right, Davis still in center, and I can't see Sweeney if that is. Oh, maybe they're waiting for some catching repair.
Suzuki had been in the pen. No, he's still in the pen.
I don't know that Guerin would have had to come out and talk to the umpire about the catching equipment repair, but he also had his scorecard out, it looked like, or his lineup card out. So that's what made me believe there may have been some defensive switches, but I don't notice any.
Russ Springer is up in the pen for the A's. As mentioned, a long wait for Gonzalez, 32 minutes to, if any, impact that has. And also he has thrown 91 pitches through the first 5 innings.
I don't know of a pitch in the world with mine sitting in there 30 minutes, you get him 4 runs real quick. The only time they may object to that would be if it's about 29 or 30 degrees out. They may have a little bit of an issue with that, but I'm under the impression they would all take the 30-minute delay for the 4 runs. Would you go along with that?
I would agree. Well, 91 pitches for Gonzalez to 102 last time out against the Yankees. Jason Bay, David Ortiz, Mike Lowell to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. The Red Sox now trailing by 3 runs as Bay takes strike 1. Bay today walked and scored the only Red Sox run in the 2nd and struck out in the 3rd.
Well, to this point, Don, I have not seen what I would call the 1-7 kind of curveball. The curveball I have seen, though, he seemed to have pretty good command of. He's certainly been consistent with it in the strike zone. A couple of times he had himself in some fastball counts that he did come with a fastball, which tells me that perhaps he wasn't quite comfortable with the breaking ball in that situation. However, his fastball and his control of the fastball has been good enough. He's walked only 3 in the day while striking out 7. So I don't think the Red Sox batters have been getting a particularly good look at this left-hander. So sometimes you can do it with just 2 pitches, but not over the long haul.
Here's strike 3, and Bay is quickly the 8th strikeout of the day for Gio Gonzalez. Second time he's down by way of the K. One down for David Ortiz. Ortiz with a double in the 2nd inning. He grounded out in the 3rd. A 1-for-2 day so far against Gio Gonzalez. On a strike to Ortiz. To the backstop. About to throw his 100th pitch of the day with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Popped up foul, back and out of play, and it evens up at 2-2 to Big Papi. Did he go? No. This is third base umpire Fielding Culbreth. And it's a full count to Ortiz. Ball 4, then a 1-out walk. That is the 4th walk given up by Gio Gonzalez.
Those last 2 pitches to me a little bit of a surprise, although by the rule of thumb, usually what you do to a batter 2-2, you should be able to do 3-2. And by that, I don't want to go to 3-2 counts if I can stay away from it, because that puts me in more of a fastball count to hitters. On the 2-2 pitch, Gonzalez used the breaking ball, got the check swing, didn't get the swing, and then right on 3-2 came right back with it. So he's got some confidence in his breaking ball. He's not afraid to try it.
Mike Lowell fouls it off for strike 1. The Red Sox with 1 run today. Red Sox have now scored 513 runs this season. And speaking of runs, visit DunkinRun.com today and grab a group order of America's favorite coffee and snacks. Dunkin' Run. Invite, order, run, enjoy. How's that for easy? America runs on Dunkin'. No ball to strike to Mike Lowell, who struck out in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to shortstop in the 4th. Tommy Everidge plays in front of Ortiz at first as Lowell fouls it off to the right. Most pitches Gonzalez has thrown in a game is 108, and he's not done that since May 3rd at Seattle in his first outing. 102 last time out against New York. This one gets away as Ortiz will take 2nd and stop there. As back to get it is Landon Powell.
I mentioned earlier with a bit of a hamstring pull for Landon Powell, that perhaps is why he doesn't make any kind of a particular shift here to block this ball. He just tries to stop it with his left shin guard, almost like a goalie would try to stop a puck. Not successful though. By him and off toward the Red Sox on deck circle. Poppy down to 2nd.
Wild pitch charge to Gio Gonzalez. Ortiz at 2nd, 1 out. And now Gonzalez wants to talk to Powell.
Kind of nice to have a pitcher that you catch for on a regular basis. This Powell Gonzalez thing that happens here. I remember in the early part of my career, I had that luxury where once every 4th day when Sonny Siebert pitched, I caught. He was the only guy who would throw to. Until he lost a couple of games in a row and he found somebody else.
This one is down the right field line, falling fast and falling fair. Jumps up into the seats. It's a ground rule double. They will give Ortiz the plate, and the Red Sox get their 2nd run. Ortiz scores on the Lowell double, and it's 4-2 now.
So the wild pitch plays into this one as Ortiz moves down to 2nd on the wild pitch, and he can just softly round 3rd and score with the 2nd Red Sox run as that ball bounces into the seats for the ground rule double. Mike Lowell, who's given a few guys in this series his 50th RBI on the year now, and getting the Red Sox one closer.
Well, the pitching change for Bob Guerin with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Red Sox get a run back. It's 4-2 Athletics.
charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout, a special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Boston Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts.
One out here in the last half of the sixth inning. It's 4-2. The Oakland A's on top of the Red Sox, and Gio Gonzalez is done after 5 1/3 innings, 107 pitches, one shy of the most that he's thrown in a major league game. He allows 2 runs so far, responsible for Mike Lowell at second base, and struck out 8 Red Sox along the way. Russ Springer into the game. We saw him the night before last in game 2 of the series. His 44th appearance, a 4.42 earned run average. And the opponent hitting at .299 against Springer, who has struck out 44 in 36 2/3 innings, so better than a strikeout an inning. Mike Lowell at second base with 1 out, and J.D. Drew, the batter. He's been on twice. Drew with a walk in the second, a single in the fourth. Fly ball to right center field. Davis and Cust. Davis calling and catching. Out number 2 is Lowell tags, and he'll take third. With the deep fly ball to right center. 2 down.
Davis was having none of that collision stuff that they had last night. He said, hey, I'm the center fielder. I will take charge. Easy for him to get under that ball, even though it was fairly deep to right center field. You can see right there, he's calling, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. And Cusp was staying well out of his way. Of course, last night, I'm referring to a play where he and Sweeney ran together. Sweeney, a lot of center field time, I guess. They kind of both were taking charge, and neither of them made the catch.
1-2 down now for Varitek, who knocked in the first run of the day for the Red Sox. At the time, grabbed a lead back in the second inning with his single to right. Scored Jason Bay. Now delivers with a base hit to right. From third comes Lowell, and it's a 1-run game. The captain is driven in. His second run of the day.
It's a most pleasing at bat for Jason Varitek here. Right-hander bring in, the guy third, 2 outs, you're down by 2. All of a sudden you look up, he gets the ball down and in, but he can just drop the head of the bat on and laser it to right field. Well, Jason, his second RBI this ball game, now 43 runs driven in on the year.
Well, that closes the book on Gio Gonzalez. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. He walked 4 and struck out 8. A pinch hitter coming up for the Red Sox. It is Adam LaRoche, who will bat for Nick Green. Green had been 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, both times swinging. Springer throwing hard. That last delivery at 95 miles per hour.
Might be close to the temperature.
Might be. We'll hold on. Varitek at first. Everidge in front of him. 2-0 to LaRoche.
LaRoche very much a stand-up type of hitter. Many years ago, Red Sox fans perhaps will remember Red Sox by the name of Dave Stapleton. From the right side of the plate was very much of a stand-up type hitter. See very little flex in LaRoche's legs. That should play well for him. That should allow him to hit a lot of balls to left field. Take advantage of that short wall in left.
Swing and miss at the 2-0 pitch, 2-1. Varitek at first base, 2 down, 2 runs in. Roche fouls it off, and it evens at 2-2. Top top of the Red Sox order. Jacoby Ellsbury waiting on deck as the Sox bat here in the bottom of the 6th. They trail by 3 runs to begin the inning, down only now by a run. There's a pop-up for LaRoche that sends Cabrera back to make the catch in short left that ends the inning. A 2-run inning for the Red Sox. 4-3 A's at the end of 6. There's a special Hall of Fame twist. Seeing here what went down last weekend in Cooperstown, including a one-on-one with Jim Rice, both inductee speeches, and the retirement of number 14 at Fenway. Join Heidi Sunday at noon just before live Sox-Orioles coverage begins for the Ultimate Red Sox Show, presented by Arbella Insurance, here for good. Well, Jed Lowry takes over at shortstop after Nick Green was hit for by Adam LaRoche. Manny Del Carmen back on the mound for the Red Sox to start this top of the 7th inning. Orlando Cabrera leading it off for the Athletics. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Cabrera, Garcia, Parra, and Cust. The A's scoring 4 times in the 6th inning. The runs charged to John Lester. First time he's given up more than 3 since May the 26th. Deep short, long throw for Lowry. Dug out nicely by Youkilis on the other side.
Okay, so now let me get this straight. You're just into the game. First ball hit in the inning is a deep ground ball to shortstop. You have to back up on it to get it on the right hop, which makes your throw a bit longer. Here's Jed Lowry, just set. It's right up over the top. Just a bit of a short hop onto Youkilis, who scoops it nicely. There's that first hitter, out 6-3.
Daniel Bard up in the pen for the Red Sox for the first time today. Lester for 5 2/3. Del Carmen now 2/3. As Nomar Garcia-Parra takes ball 1. Pen's busy also for the Athletics. Michael Wirtz is up. Springer coming into the game to get the last 2 outs of the 6th inning. Gave up a couple of inherited runs. Garcia-Parra out ahead of this, lifts it foul down the left field line and out of play. Nomar on base twice today. Lined out to second base in the first, and an infield hit in the fourth, and then a single to right in the sixth. Ball 3-1 as Carmen missed at 97 miles per hour. Ladies Nomar, full count. On deck is Jack Custis, the A's bat with one out here in the seventh inning. To right center field and in for a hit. Drew racing over to grab it, knocks it down as Garciaparra will hold with a one-out single, his third hit of the day.
His last two at bats have been 3-2 counts. Both times it resulted in a base hit to right field. One was kind of a looping fly ball that J.D. Drew shagged down in the previous at bat, that back in the sixth, and this one a sharp line drive into right center toward J.D. Drew, gets it on the backhand, knocks it down. Early single for Nomar, and he's going to have a rest of the afternoon off.
Well, the pinch runner is Eric Patterson at first base for Garciaparra. As the A's try to grab another run here in this top of the seventh inning with one out. Jack Cust is the batter. Custis grounded out to first, struck out, walked and scored. Manny Del Carmen, 219 career appearances now, second most ever by a Red Sox player born in Massachusetts, trailing only Bill Monbouquet, who appeared in 254 games for the Red Sox. Runner goes as Cust pops it up. That's a left field. Bay is out there. He'll make the catch for the second out. With two down, it's time for a game break. And Tom Caron, TC. Thanks very much, Tom. Here at Fenway Park, it is 4-3. The A's on top of the Red Sox, as they have a runner at first base and Eric Patterson, two down, and Tommy Everidge the batter. Runner goes again. Everidge takes the strike, throw down, and it's not in time. Patterson able to steal second base, get into scoring position with two down.
Well, what a terrific jump Patterson had there. His first stolen base of the year in his first attempt. Just with the A's for 7 games now.
Tommy Everidge. Rips this one back up the middle into center field. Patterson being waved around. He will score, and the A's take a 2-run lead on top, 5-3. So another 2-out RBI for the Athletics.
Yeah, the stolen base, which is really a big part of the Oakland A's history, of course, with the late induction of Ricky Henderson into the Hall of Fame. They still use the stolen base to their advantage. Clean stolen base there, delivers an insurance run for the A's.
Well, Bard is up and ready to go should they choose to go to that direction. Bobby Crosby, the batter. On the ground to third base. Lowell will go to second base to retire Everidge and to end the top of the 7th inning. But the A's grab another run. It's 5-3 Oakland.
RedSox.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the RedSox.com. Shop.
A steamy day from Fenway Park as we move along to the bottom of the 7th inning. The A's will employ their third pitcher of the day, as Michael Wirtz comes into the game for the Athletics to pitch this bottom of the 7th inning. It's his 48th appearance, a record of 5-1 with a 3.28 ERA. And 66 strikeouts in 49 1/3 innings.
How do you do?
Jumps out at you. As Jacoby Ellsbury stands in top of the Red Sox order. Ellsbury today is 0 for 2 with a walk, riding a 6-game hitting streak. Coming into today's action, does not have a base hit on the afternoon. Russ Springer went 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit. No runs, no walks, nor did he strike anybody out. Pitcher of record for the A's today, their starter Gio Gonzalez, who went 5 1/3, charged with the 3 runs the Red Sox have. (3-0) to Ellsbury. Pedroia, then Youkilis expected here in the 7th inning. Ellsbury taken all the way, tugs ball 4, and down to first he goes. So leadoff walk allowed by Michael Wirtz. One on, nobody out for Pedroia.
Those things drive pitching coaches, especially managers, crazy. You just get a run to tack on an extra run lead. Your reliever comes in, first guy, top of the order, ball 4 on 4 pitches.
Pedroia takes strike 1. Dustin is 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out, struck out, flied out to the warning track. Ellsbury kind of started and stopped at first base as Pedroia fouls it off and is down 0-2.
We were talking about the batting order early in this ball game. If Ellsbury continues to do what he's doing, getting the base hits, getting on base, he's going to make a better hitter out of Dustin Pedroia. And the reason I say that, because Dustin's going to get more fastballs to hit. Catchers instinctively try to protect themselves a bit by getting a few more fastballs when you have the good stolen base type runner at first. So in order to protect myself as a catcher, I don't want to have to be dealing with breaking balls. You have to do that. You have to hold a little court with yourself sometime and not get caught in that trap. But I think historically, a guy who hits behind a good base stealer will see far more fastballs. And we know that Dustin Pedroia can turn your fastball around anytime. It also may make the second spot hitter, or in this case where Pedroia hits a second, it also makes that hitter have to take a few more hitters if you are in a game situation that you need to allow your potential base stealer to steal the base. You can't go up there swinging at the first pitch a lot of times that you'd like to. And Dustin's a very aggressive hitter, but he also understands, I'm sure, that there are some times when he's going to have to take a pitch or two to give Jacoby a chance to steal a base. By doing that, then you may wind up in a count a lot of times that you don't want. But Dustin doesn't strike out very much, so it doesn't bother him as much as it would some other hitters. I think Dustin's one of the toughest in the American League to strike out, is he not?
He is, has been since he joined the league. And here 1-2 fouls off a pitch. Leadoff walk for Jacoby Ellsbury. Red Sox trailing here by 2 runs. There's more action for the A's. Left-hander Craig Breslow starting to warm up. Already seen Russ Springer, and now Michael Wirtz. 1-2 is hit high in the air down the left field line. Sweeney and Cabrera giving chase. And it's back into the seats.
And in Oakland, you're out.
That's right.
Not even close. One more thing to complete the thought on the second spot hitter behind a very good base stealer is when you have that speedster at first, those infielders have to shorten up just a little bit to guard whoever's covering the bag at second. You take a step, maybe a step and a half away from them. But when you do that, that's more area for that hitter to hit the ball through or hit it through a vacated spot. Even if the second base or shortstop just flinches a bit, it's a plus for you.
One ball, 2 strikes to Pedroia. Nobody out. At the end of the bat foul, staying alive, still 1-2. In the bullpen with a 3.91 earned run average for the A's. On the road trip, it's not been as good. 5.23 ERA. On the ground up the middle. Kennedy to second for 1, on to first. It's a double play.
Don, I believe this ball gets some part of Wirtz, and he slows it down. Otherwise, this ball is tabbed easily for center field. A lot of foot movement around that mound by Wirtz. This ball hit pretty sharply. Maybe the mound slowed it down. I don't know if it got a part of Wirtz, it got him on the bottom of the shoe. And from that point, once the ball slowed down, it was an easy 4-6-3 twin killing for the A's.
So leadoff walk to Ellsbury, quickly erased as part of the double play, and now Kevin Youkilis. He was grounded out, singled, and struck out. Youkilis with a swing and a miss, 1-1 the count.
That pitch from Wertz appears to be a split-fingered pitch, but I believe it is a slider. It is a very, very late snap on his slider, and it's more of the pure slider. It goes down just a little bit and away from a right-hand hitter.
Fly ball to right field, battling the Sun in. The Sun field is cussed, and he's not close. Then he kicks it. Youkilis still running. He gets to second base. Well, the right field here, Fenway, always the toughest as you get later in the day. And Cust couldn't find it. Then he ended up kicking it.
Actually, if he could have, he probably would have kicked it completely out of here after paddling the Sun. He does have the glasses on. He looks to have had the glasses down. However, that area over in right field in this ballpark this time of day is just murderous. He's trying to also use the glove to help shade his eyes. Ball bounces on the ground and bounces up and kicks him, or he kicks it with his right leg or right knee. And Youkilis now, there's another one of those kind of funny hits. Remember, he had another one earlier part of this game. That's another funny hit for him. Could it be over?
Could be. Youkilis at second base with a double, his second hit. Jason Bay has walked and struck out twice. That was all against Gio Gonzalez, the starter today for the A's. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Skips in, and Powell able to grab it. 2-1. Well, the Red Sox have had their troubles with the American League West. The Red Sox are just 9-17 against the West, actually 9-18 against the West heading into today's action. I understand it when you're talking about the Angels and Rangers. Not as hard to explain with Seattle and Oakland, who have both had pretty tough years. Red Sox especially, they play so well at home. They've dropped 2 of the first 3 games to the A's and trail here in Game 4.
Jason Bay is just about due to get up on one here pretty soon. Wouldn't be a better time than now.
He takes ball 4 and heads down to first base. The second walk given up by Michael Wertz. And Bob Guerin coming out with Ortiz expected and Breslow in the pen. Guerin to make the move as David Ortiz will be next. It is a 5-3 Oakland A's lead. Season's tickets for life and up to $1 million instantly. Get yours today. For details, visit masslottery.com. Back at Fenway where it is 5-3. The A's on top of the Red Sox with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And a pitching change here for Oakland as the left-hander Craig Breslow is in to face David Ortiz, his 53rd appearance of the year. 4-4 mark with a 4.39 earned run average. The opponent hitting at just 191 against Breslow. As he comes in here, leads the American League with a career high 52 games pitched. Runners in scoring position. The opponent just 5 for 39 against Craig Breslow as Wirtz ends up walking 2 in this inning, including Jason Bay, who's now at first, Euclid at second, and 2 down. Here comes Big Poppy, 0 for 2 against Craig Breslow. Today he has doubled, grounded out, and walked. He has also scored a run. Red Sox trailed 4-1 in this game. They came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Hayes had another run in the top half of the 7th. Now the Red Sox with 2 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Ortiz fouls it off, and it's 1-1. An enviable task for David Ortiz, perhaps, to discuss things after the game. We will see. We'll be following things after the game, of course. W.B. Mason's extra innings after this game right here on NESN. As there's ball 2, 2-1. And again, for those who have not heard, the New York Times today reporting before the game that Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz among more than 100 players testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs back in 2003. No comment from David up to this point, and there may not be one today. We will see.
My guess here, honestly, would be the best policy.
It's worked the best.
Get
in
it
the past.
over with. If in fact it is true.
One problem you have is that he has vehemently denied it in years past, especially in spring training, which makes it even harder. 2-1 is jacked towards deep right center field. Back goes Rajay Davis at the wall. It's gone. Big Poppy, a 3-run home run. And the Red Sox take a 6-5 lead with one swing of the bat. A thunderous swing at that.
More 2-out RBIs in this series. The left-hander Breslow brought into this game to get one man out, and he couldn't do it. David Ortiz goes long way downtown, almost off the NESN sign, and back of the bullpens out in deep right center field. Well, the press conference may be a little bit easier now. I don't know.
Well, the curtain call for Ortiz. A 6-5 Boston lead. And Mike Lowell has struck out, grounded out, doubled to drive in a run as he takes a pitch outside. Line down the right field line, foul.
This pitch from Breslow is right where a left-hander doesn't want to throw a left-hander. It's kind of down and just a little bit in. David Ortiz drops the head of the bat on this one, and this ball went a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Number 14 on the year for Ortiz. RBI is 56, 7 and 8.
Well, fly ball to shallow center. Rajay Davis coming in. And he makes the catch that ends the inning, but the Red Sox get a 3-run home run from David Ortiz. It's 6-5 Sox at the end of 7. Davis with an RBI. Athletics would go on top 4-1 with 4 runs in the 6th inning. Red Sox trying to come back as Mike Lowell contributes with an RBI double in the 6th inning to make it 4-2. Red Sox trailing 5-3 when Big Poppy comes to the plate and hits this 3-run blast to put the Red Sox on top 6-5. It erases the fine outing today by Gio Gonzalez, who is the pitcher of record. A chance to grab a victory, but instead now the Red Sox have a lead. Third pitcher of the game for Boston is Daniel Bard. His 26th major league appearance, and it's strike one to Rajai Davis. After this guy has opened the eyes of many with his explosive fastball.
He opened my eyes early in the year down at Pawtucket. He throws with ease. There doesn't seem to be any effort when he throws at 98 and 99 miles an hour. Good strong leg, and that is the pitch there that really not a lot of people talk about. When you throw 99 100, they don't say, wow, he's got a great breaking ball. Well, this guy's got a great breaking ball to go along with that heater. So I know this, as a hitter, you would not be able to set on anything from this guy, because if you are the least bit thinking about something off speed, you really have no chance. Like that. That was 100 they have on the speed gun here at Fenway. Have you seen him throw? You had him in spring training. Was it a spring game? Did he go over 100?
Yeah, I've not seen him over 100.
Okay.
The most I've ever seen him is at 100.
All right. Well,
but he's getting there as this one is fouled out. He's certainly capable.
I think it's safe for us to assume that at one of those times when it said 100, he probably threw it 102. Really, why is it always just on 100?
Right.
I had him in a game earlier in Pawtucket. He threw 12 pitches, 8 of them at 99, the other 4 at 96. No chance.
And he's got a 1-2 pitch ready for Rajai Davis. He fouls it off. Shadows starting to make their way across the plate here at Fenway as we play along in the afternoon.
You know, we're talking about the Oakland A's and their ability to come up with good young pitchers. Certainly don't overlook what the Red Sox have been able to do in the last 5 to 6 years, and finding those young pitchers, getting them into the organization, getting through their minor leagues and into the big leagues, and being productive players. That takes a terrific scouting department to do that.
This is to short, Jed Lowry. 1 down. More action for the Athletics in their pen as this inning begins. Santiago Casilla, the right-hander, is up and warming. Red Sox have got an inning and a third from Del Carmen before he left. And he charged with 1 run on 3 hits. Walked a batter, did not strike anybody out, and now Daniel Bard has the first out of the 8th as Ryan Sweeney takes strike 1.
One reason the Red Sox is one of the organizations that's always mentioned any kind of deadline trades, because they have so much young talent that everybody else likes. They want to get it. They desire it. Give me some of those good young arms.
I guess the question is, do you stockpile them the way the Red Sox have for a long time and kept him here and then brought him up, as we've seen with Papelbon, Lester, Masterson, or do you start to trade some of that away here, as we've seen in the past? Does that happen? What do you do? I mean, that's the problem.
You can never have too much pitching, good pitching, in my estimation. I stockpile them if I could. It depends on how many I have, obviously, and how many slots I have to put those young fellows in.
Sweeney with no chance as he strikes out, and there's 2 down. I guess we'll find out more in the next 24 hours or so.
Well, I don't know if the Red Sox probably don't have an untouchable player as far as a pitcher concerned. There's that good breaking ball that's so difficult for a hitter to stay away from once he's protected on the fastball.
If there is an untouchable guy, for me, it's the guy on the mound right now.
Well, untouchable is kind of a tough tag to put on somebody, because there's always somebody somewhere that you perhaps would like to have, but there would have to be some kind of knock me over deal to get rid of any young player who has the abilities of a Dan Bard. They just don't come along that often. And the problem is,
this one popped up short left. Bay coming in to make the catch that ends the inning. A 1-2-3-8, a 6-5 Red Sox lead. The Globes Red Sox Game Day Live. On the latest reactions to the 4 p.m. trade deadline, Nick Capardo will break down what impact the trades will have across baseball, and we'll have an in-depth preview of John Smoltz' start in Baltimore. It's coming up tomorrow at 6, and it's only on NESN. Bard with an impressive 1-2-3 inning when the Red Sox needed it most in the 8th. And it's on now to the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher on for the Athletics. It is their 5th pitcher of the day. Santiago Casilla makes his 35th appearance, a 1-2 record, 5.80 earned run average. And the opponent hitting at .279 against Casilla. Takes over for Breslow, who gave up, of course, the 3-run home run to David Ortiz. The Red Sox have their closer getting ready. Jonathan Papelbon in the pen. You get a run, a lead in the 7th inning, and the complexion of this one changes in a hurry. You got Bard for the 8th and Papelbon for the 9th, and we got that lead.
Not a bad combination to have on your side, is it?
It's all good.
I'll take my chances.
J.D. Drew to lead it off. Red Sox trying to grab some insurance here as they come to bat in the 8th. Drew's been on twice today, a walk and a single.
That was the first pitch for Casilla there, 97. Doesn't anybody throw 88 anymore?
No, not anymore. I've heard this said by more than one. You wonder with today's guns what Nolan Ryan would register.
Oh my goodness. Well, historically, and I'm sure the guns have improved tremendously over the years as technology naturally has improved. And I haven't talked to an awful lot of scouts about them and how they use them now, but in early days of the guns, pitches that were thrown up higher in the strike zone registered a bit higher than balls that were thrown from, let's say, the waist down to the top of the knees. Now, I don't know if that's still the case or not. Some guns are designed that they register the speed out of a pitcher's hand. Some guns are designed so that they register the velocity when it's at or near the strike zone. Well, there's a big difference. We're talking about 54 feet roughly, or 55 feet from the time it comes out of a hand.
Down the line, a fair ball for Drew. Kicks off the boxes. Custer will gather it, but not before Drew stands at second base with a leadoff double in his 2nd hit of the day.
Well, Casilla tries to trick J.D. Drew here. He's throwing him 95, 96, 97 mile an hour fastballs. All of a sudden, when it's 2-2, he looks like he throws him kind of a spinning changeup. Well, J.D. gets the head of the bat out and rips this ball between Everidge at first and the bag. And he'll have the opening 2-base hit here in the 8th inning. Red Sox could use another crooked number here, couldn't they? Or
sure
probably
could.
take a straight number and be happy with that, but a crooked one would be a delight.
Any additional numbers from this point on would be welcome. So Drew at second base, Jason Varitek 2 hits and 2 RBIs today. To left center field, 3rd hit of the day, and he'll drive in another run. Here comes Drew. The Red Sox lead it 7-5.
Red Sox catcher having quite a day for himself. His 3rd run driven into the game. On his 3rd hit, 2 singles, and now this double up the gap in left field. He just kind of reached out and touched someone there. This ball will find the gap, and he'll quickly trade places with J.D. Drew as Drew is around to score the Red Sox 7th run.
It has been over a year since his last 3-hit game, and Jason Varitek enjoys today, along with 3 RBIs. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, out there talking it over with Santiago Casilla, who has very quickly given up back-to-back doubles and an additional run. The A's in the top of the 9th will be expecting the top of their order. Here's Jed Lowry. Bats for the first time today. Adam LaRoche had pinch hit for Nick Green in the 6th. And Lowry took over defensively, batting for the first time. Shadow is encompassing that home plate area at the moment. This one fouled off. You were here when they did not block off that batter's eye here. How big a deal was that? Now, of course, they do during day games.
I don't know. I never hit here. It didn't matter. It used to be pretty tough. I'll tell you when it was really great. When it was tough, if you were catching a rather tall left-hander, for example, it was hard to catch him here.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful job by Lowry. Beautiful job by the switch-hitting shortstop. That is absolutely perfect. Even though he had the 0-2 count, his mindset is, I've got a guy at second, nobody out. I've got to do something to get him over to third base with less than 2 outs, and he does a nice job of doing just that. Sometimes you need to play big baseball. Sometimes you need a little part of baseball. He does the little part of it there to move the guy along. Bruce Hurst used to take the biggest advantage of that area in center field. His height and his arm angle where he came out. Sometimes it wasn't even fair for hitters because he just threw run out of that. I don't know when they changed that. They used to call that Knick's corner, and I don't know, sometime in the 70s maybe they started covering that. I really don't know. Sometimes they had so many people in here that was the dollar had a little more interest than the strikeout, if you want to, if you know.
Now Jacoby Ellsbury with the infield in here for the A's, trying to tack on another run. With Varitek at third base and 1 out here in the 8th. Ellsbury also trying to keep a individual hitting streak going. 6-gamer coming in. 1 for 2. He's walked twice. Ellsbury hits a high fly ball to right. Cust going back to make the catch as Varitek tags. Here comes the Red Sox 8th run of the day.
So they play big baseball off the bat of David Ortiz to get them in front in this game. Then they play a little extra base hit and then small ball, moving the guy over to third. Ellsbury with the deep fly ball to right to play a little bit of baseball and hang up a crooked number that they were looking for here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yeah. The first guy that Ellsbury ought to go see in that dugout is Jed Lowry. He saved him at bat and got him an RBI by moving the guy along. Lowry may be kind of, hey, I'll take dinner for that one. So they're right there. They just got it. The little fist hit or whatever they called it. Jacoby knows how important it was, and I know Jed knows how important it was to move that guy from second to third.
Pedroia to right field. Cust had trouble earlier with the sun, this time able to make the grab, looking into it. Red Sox get 2 more. They take an 8-5 lead to the 9th. sports from around the league on the eve of the baseball trade deadline. They'll break down John Lester's performance in the series finale. Also, we'll be covering the David Ortiz situation after the game as well. It's all coming up right after the game with TC, Jim, and Heidi. Rocco Baldelli takes over in right field for the Red Sox defensively, as he is running it out, trying to get stretched out. Papelbon into the game for Boston. 44th appearance, 1-1 record with the blown save here the other night against the A's. He is now 25 out of 28 in save opportunities. His opponent hitting at .236 against Papelbon. His third blown save of the year is on Tuesday, and his first since June 30th at Baltimore. It's just the second time in his career that he entered with a 3-run lead and blew the save. He's got a 3-run lead here again against the A's. Walks have been an issue, and he starts off ahead here with strike one to Adam Kennedy.
Nobody says a closer can't go in a bit of a slump like a hitter or anybody else. This is a funny game, this game of baseball, and it will sometime humble you unbelievably.
Kennedy lines it foul and is down 0-2.
I found that my experience over the years, Don, and the few years that I played and in watching the game so long, closers have to have a different kind of personality. There's no gray area for him. They either get the job done, they don't get it done. And closers who have long memories are not very good at what they do. Now, you know, Papelbon has the thought the other night in the back of his head when he comes in, he wants to really be busting it today. But you can't let that overpower your ability to do what you're sent out there to do. You have to have a short memory. Forget it. That one's over. This is a different one.
Throwing hard today. 1-2 the count.
His first pitch was 98 to Kennedy. That one 99.
Away again, 2-2. Well, since 2006, Jonathan Papelbon fourth in the majors, trailing only K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez, 172 saves. Trevor Hoffman, 141 saves. And the Minnesota Twins find closer Joe Nathan with 141 saves. He's fourth in that category since 06. His 2-2 pitch to Adam Kennedy. And he stays alive.
Not sure how closers think so much anymore. A lot of times when closers come in, they want to mentally get into that I'm only leading by one kind of attitude, and sometimes they try to be a bit too fine. I don't know if that's something that's bothering Papelbon with a little bit of his control issues or not, but it's a fine line when you work in this part of a ball game for a pitcher.
It's a shortstop, and Lowry's got it for the first out. One down for Papelbon, and Orlando Cabrera coming up. Papelbon has the most saves, 133 career save. He picked up on July 1st to Baltimore, passing Bob Stanley for the most in club history. Only 138 in his career in a Red Sox uniform. There's one out here in the ninth as Cabrera bats. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Strike one.
Bob Stanley, of course, a formidable starter for the Red Sox for a long time. And Papelbon, Stanley, Rivera, most of those guys who have been successful closers, it's not uncommon for them to have started as a starting pitcher or started their pitching careers as starting pitchers.
miss, and it's 0-2. Certainly Eck would fall in that category as well.
Yeah. As a starting pitcher, he was very good, but he certainly was no Hall of Famer. And once he got his career turned around, got to Oakland, changed his whole attitude, the way he pitched, the way he thought about pitching, and they give him the ball late in the ball game. HOF, here I come.
Lined into left field, a base hit for Orlando Cabrera. Hangs in there. He got down 0-2, but gets a single with one out here in the ninth. 11-game hitting streak for Cabrera. Only pinch hitter coming up here for Eric Patterson. It'll be Kurt Suzuki coming off the bench, normally in the starting lineup. A pinch hit appearance here as he had the day off until now. There goes Cabrera, and he'll take second base uncontested. Takes the double play possibility out of the mix. Give Orlando Cabrera credit for his stolen base at second base, so no defensive indifference.
Probably because Euclid was holding him on. The only reason I can see that would be a stolen base. I don't care if he goes to second or third.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1. Suzuki, who's done very well against the Red Sox, .333 hitter against Boston. And very good pinch hitting. It is rare for him to be on the bench again, but when he is, generally gets into the game as a pinch hitter, and he's done well in that capacity. Ball 3, and it's 3-1. Jack Cust waiting on deck. The A's batting here, looking for some drama in the ninth. With one out, they have Cabrera at second base. Red Sox getting two big runs in the bottom of the eighth. Line caught, and back to second goes Cabrera. Suzuki retired by Pedroia, 2 down in the ninth. Coming up after the game, stay with us for Granite City Electric's Red Sox final. More on the David Ortiz situation. Remind you to submit your best questions to the NESN.com inbox. TC and Jim will answer your questions live in the show. Plus, we'll have the latest on the impending trade deadline. We'll get a preview of the critical start for John Smoltz. Granite City Electric's Red Sox final coming up after the game right here on NESN. 2 down, runner at second, and Jack Cust the batter. Ball 1 outside. Papelbon's been operating in the 98 to 99 mile per hour range since coming in. Inside, 2-0. Cust with no hits today, walked and scored in the 6th. Grounded out, struck out, flied out. Batting with 2 down, Orlando Cabrera at second base in the 9th. Fly ball to center field and playable for Jacoby Ellsbury. Makes the catch as the Red Sox win and wrap up the homestand with a victory. A come from behind victory at that. As Big Papi with a big 3-run home run, the Red Sox win it 8-5. WB Mason's extra innings is right around the corner, but stay with us. We're back here at Fenway Park with more after this.